followed by going to mug me. There was a mall that the World Trade Center. Yeah. Is that Klein? Yep. What is exactly? It's like his office will go to this building and this office will go right to this I think I just got rid of the last bit of suits that I had from because I will never wear a business suit. I'm certainly not the ones from 1998.
Good afternoon. My name is Ellery, and I am the director of the Red-Throated League. We are delighted that you have joined us here today for our production of Sherlock Holmes and the Adventure of the Crooked Man. The Red-Throated League is the theatrical wing arm of the Norwegian Explorers of Minnesota, a society that is dedicated to the enjoyment and the study of Sherlock Holmes. We work in partnership with the University of Minnesota's Sherlock Holmes Special Collections to recreate the Golden Age radio scripts of Edith Meiser, one of the greatest writers and producers of radio history. In addition to Ms. Meiser's collection of original scripts, which were performed on radio by the likes of Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, the University of Minnesota houses the largest collection of Sherlock Holmes-related writings and materials in the world. If you love Sherlock Holmes, we hope you'll consider joining the Norwegian Explorers. We have monthly discussions of the original stories by Arthur Conan Doyle, and we also have annual events and world-renowned, semi-irregular conferences where Sherlockians from around the world come and learn about and celebrate the legacy of Sherlock Holmes. You can also find, don't you love the sound effects? I mean, you can almost smell the popcorn. It's so good. You can also join the Friends of the Special Collections to support their amazing work. You'll find information on both groups out in the lobby. We hope you will enjoy the show, especially seeing how sound effects are made. Long before the days of bits and sound bites, this is what we used. So please be aware that this production features simulated gunshots in one of the flashback scenes. We would like to dedicate this afternoon's performance to one of the greatest Watsons of all time, David Burke, who just passed beyond the Reichenbach. Now, following the performance, we will have tea and cookies in the conference room, right back that way. It's right across from the restrooms. So, now, if you will, please, turn off your noise-making devices, or make sure that they are turned off. Cast your imaginations back to 1930 and radio station KRTL, from which our company will in turn transport you to when it is always 1895. Every week at this time, the makers of G. Washington's Coffee bring you another adventure from the Sherlock Holmes series of mystery dramas. Yes, friends, we've made it through another long winter full of snow and ice. The sun is brighter, the days are warmer, but evenings can still be chilly and the climate uncertain. Nothing brings more comfort in times like this than kind, stalwart friends and neighbors like Dr. John Watson. Why, a friend like him will always be ready with an open heart, a helping hand, and a fresh hot cup of G. Washington's coffee. Here we are once more in the firelit study of Dr. Watson. With a steaming cup of after-dinner coffee in one hand, our feet toasting comfortably on the fender, Dr. Watson has just drawn a deep breath. I suspect he is about to tell us another one of his famous stories. I suspect he is about to tell us another one of his famous stories.
So I am, Miss Bell, so I am. It was one summer night in the year 1889, a few months after my marriage, and I was smoking my last pipe, nodding off over a novel, and my wife, she'd already gone upstairs. Suddenly I heard the clang of the doorbell. Well, I looked at the clock. It was 11:45. A patient, evidently, and possibly an all-night sitting. And with a wry face, I went down into the hall and opened the door. I went into the hall and opened the door. To my astonishment, there stood Sherlock Holmes.
Surprised to see me at this hour, eh, Watson? Relieved, too, I fancy. You can remove that martyred look. I'm not a patient.
Well, come in, my dear fellow. Come in. I'm delighted to see you.
Still smoking the Arcadian mixture from your bachelor days, I see. No mistaking that fluffy ash on your coat.
Oh, come now, Holmes.
You told me once that you had bachelor quarters for one. I see you have no male visitor at present.
Well, that's true enough, but how did you know?
Your hat stand tells me so. Can you put me up for the night, Watson?
Oh, with pleasure.
Good. I'll fill the vacant peg then. There. Sorry to see that you've had the British workmen in your house. Not the drains, I hope.
No. The gas, worse luck.
He's left 2 nail marks from his boots on your linoleum just where the light strikes it.
How about a bite to eat?
Oh, no, thank you. I had some supper at Waterloo Station, but I'll smoke a pipe with you if you'll lend me your tobacco.
Here you are, old man. Help yourself.
I see your professional business is picking up nicely, Watson.
Well, I've had rather a busy day, but how the deuce you guessed it is way beyond me.
Your boots, Watson. Your boots and the knowledge of your habits. When your round is a short one, you walk. When it is long, you use a hansom cab. Your boots are used, but by no means dirty. Therefore, I gather that there is sufficient business to justify the hansom.
All this is extremely fascinating, my dear Holmes, but you didn't rout me out in the middle of the night to have a look at my boots. Stop beating around the bush. I'm bursting with curiosity. What's up?
Sure you're not too sleepy?
Well, I was before you came, but I'm quite wide awake now. Get on with your story.
Very well. Perhaps you've heard of the matter. It has to do with the supposed murder of Colonel James Barclay of the Royal Munsters, now barracked at Aldershot.
Yeah. I don't know the Colonel personally, but I know the Royal Munsters of reputation. It's one of the famous Irish regiments. It did wonders in the Crimea and the Indian Rebellion.
Quite. Its commander, James Barclay, was one of its most courageous fighters. He started as a full private, won his commission at the time of the rebellion for conspicuous bravery. Colonel Barclay was married at the time when he was a sergeant. His wife, maiden name Nancy Devoy, was the daughter of a former colored sergeant. The lady has always been a great favorite with the ladies of the regiment, as her husband has been with his brother officers. I may add that she was, and still is, after 30 years of married life, a woman of remarkable beauty.
Well, a beautiful woman is a danger to any regiment. There were jealousies, I suppose.
Now what? They were uniformly happy together. There has never been a misunderstanding between the pair, at least so Major Murphy assures me. On the whole, Barclay's devotion to his wife seems to have been more pronounced than her devotion to him, although she has always been faithful and affectionate.
Well, rather a model middle-aged couple, huh?
So everyone thought until the tragedy occurred. Colonel Barclay himself seems to have some rather curious traits. On occasion, he was capable of considerable violence. This side of his nature, however, appears never to have been turned toward his wife. At times he has fits of depression when the smile seemed to be struck from his mouth as if by an invisible hand. The mood might last for days. Also, he had a tinge of superstition which took the form of a fear of being left alone, especially after dark.
Oh, rather a puerile kink in a chap who's been decorated for bravery.
Human nature, Watson, is a mass of contradictions. Now, for the events leading up to the catastrophe, the Barclays, 2 house servants, and a coachman live in a villa called the Kino, situated on its own grounds about 30 yards off the main high road and about half a mile from the camp. Mrs. Barclay, it seems, had interested herself in the charitable activities of the Guild of St. George's Church. A meeting of the Guild had been called for 8 o'clock. She left the house in high spirits. The coachman heard her call some chaffing remarks to her husband as she left the house. She then called for Miss Morrison, a young lady who lived in the next villa, and the two went off together. The meeting lasted 40 minutes. At 9:15, Mrs. Barclay returned home, having left Miss Morrison at her door as she passed. Mrs. Barclay went into the morning room on her return. This room faces the road and it opens by a large folding door onto the lawn. She seemed considerably agitated and rang at once for the tea, which was quite contrary to her usual habits.
Yes, ma'am.
Minnie, bring me a cup of tea, please, and be sure it's strong.
Yes, ma'am. I'll have it for you before you can wink an eye. Won't you take your hat off, ma'am? You look that white, if you'll pardon my saying so.
I'm all right, Minnie, thank you. If you'll just bring the tea.
Yes, ma'am.
And Minnie, will you ask the Colonel to come here, please?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, here he comes now, down the hall. Good evening, sir.
Well, Nancy, back so soon.
Very well. That's all, Minnie. Shut the door behind you.
Yes, ma'am. Would you? Listen to that. She's gone and locked it. I'd like to know what's up. She's as white as a sheet and trembling all over. I can't hear a word they're saying. I can just hear her voice going on. Earnest like. I'll bet she's given him what for.
Minnie O'Shea, what are you standing there for with your eyes glued to the keyhole?
Oh, the start you gave me. There's something going on in there between the master and his missus. Something serious, I can tell you.
A family quarrel, most likely. None of your business. You go fetch the master's boots. He wants them polished, and be quick about it.
You coward! You thief! Give me back my life. Oh my God, it's too late. What can we do? What can we do?
Did you hear that?
Don't touch me! You've ruined my life! I'm not going to stay under your roof another night, you... David! How could you? David! David!
Who's this David she's talking to?
Help! Help!
All right, it's all right, ma'am. We're here. Let us in. Open the door.
It's locked.
Quick then. Around the outside. The windows are open. We'll get in that way.
it?
We'll soon find out. Here's the window. Hey, what's this lying on the ledge?
Ah! There, lying beside the table. His head on the fender, and it's all beat in. She's killed him. With the club, she's killed him. Ah!
Shut up, will ye? And go get a glass of brandy and send for the doctor and the police.
But I can't go through. The door into the hall is still locked.
Well, unlock it, you great ninny.
I can't. The key is gone.
One of the most curious features of the whole case was the look of agonized horror which was frozen on the dead man's face. He must have foreseen his fate.
Well, naturally a chap would look a bit horrified if he saw his own wife was about to make a murderous attack on him.
Mrs. Barclay was taken to her room, her mind temporarily unbalanced. She hasn't come to her senses since.
Well, I say, Holmes, don't you think she may have killed him in a fit of temporary insanity?
I doubt it. I think her brain fever, as the doctor calls it, is a result rather than the cause of the tragedy.
What about that club that the servants found lying on the ledge?
That was the first thing I asked for on my arrival at Aldershot this morning. It's a singular affair of hard, carved wood with a bone handle. The Colonel has a varied collection of weapons brought from countries in which he had seen service. This may well be one of them, although the servants say they don't ever remember having seen it before.
Extraordinary!
There was one clue even more extraordinary.
What was that?
The key. The missing key. Search as hard as we could, it was gone.
But how?
Exactly. Neither the Colonel nor his wife was capable of removing it from the room.
Then there was a third person who must have entered that room.
Quite. I made a careful investigation for indications of this individual, and it ended by my finding traces, but very different from the ones I expected.
I say.
There had been a man in the room. He crossed the lawn from the road, apparently running, for his toe marks were much deeper than his heels. But it was not the man who surprised me. It was his companion.
His companion?
Yes. I have a copy of his footprints on this piece of paper. There. What do you make of that?
It's an animal, a small dog, perhaps.
Ever hear of a dog running up a curtain? This animal did. I found evidence.
Well, a monkey, then.
But that isn't the print of a monkey.
No, but what else could it be?
I have reconstructed it as far as possible from the measurements of the tracks. Standing motionless, they measure no less than 15 inches from 4 foot to height. Add to that the neck and head, and we get a creature not much less than 2 feet long. More if it has a tail.
Remarkable.
The prints of this animal in motion indicate a long body with short legs. It can run up a curtain, and it is carnivorous. It ran up the curtain to get at the Barclay's canal.
But all these discoveries of yours have left this business even more obscure than it was before.
Quite. Therefore, we must now tackle the problem from another angle.
And what is that?
It is evident that when Mrs. Barclay left home, she was on the best of terms.
Yes?
It is equally evident that immediately on her return, she broke into violent recriminations against him. Something occurred between 7:30 and 9 o'clock which completely altered her feeling toward her husband.
Yes, but you said that this Miss Morrison was with her the entire time.
And Miss Morrison claims that nothing unusual happened.
Well, then,
Miss Morrison is lying.
Oh, I say, Holmes.
We have an appointment to see the young lady tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
We?
Yes. I should like to have a witness for the conversation, if you can manage.
Certainly. I'll get young Jackson to take my practice.
Good! Now for some sleep. I've had a rather strenuous day.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, Miss Morrison. I hope we're not too early. And this is my friend, Dr. Watson.
How do you do? But, Mr. Holmes, I've already told the police I know nothing. I'm sure I don't know what you want me to do.
I want you to tell me the truth.
But Mr. Holmes...
Have you been carrying on an affair with Colonel Barclay?
Certainly not.
Really? Oh,
No. I didn't think that was it. Miss Morrison, do you realize that unless this matter is cleared up, Mrs. Barclay may find herself in the dock on a charge of murder?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, But I promised not to say anything, and it's all so trivial.
Nothing that may have caused a man's death is trivial, Miss Morrison.
Oh, but I'm sure Mrs. Barclay would rather tell you herself.
Mrs. Barclay is still delirious. She is in no condition to explain anything.
Well, perhaps then. A promise is a promise, but if I can really help her, when she can do nothing to help herself, poor darling, I will tell you what happened Monday evening.
Good.
We were returning from the guild meeting at about 9:15, passing through Hudson Street, which is a very quiet thoroughfare. We saw a man come out of one of the houses. He was a pathetic sight, all crippled and twisted, with a box slung over his shoulder. We were passing him when he raised his face to look at us in the circle of the light thrown by the lamp. As he did so, he stopped and cried out in a dreadful voice.
Oh, God, it's Nancy.
Henry? Henry! I thought you'd been dead this 30 years.
Oh, so I have, Nancy.
This is terrible. What have they done to you?
Oh, you may well ask that. I never wanted you to see me like this. May God blast him that did it to me, the swine, the filthy beast.
Oh, Mrs. Barclay, shall I go for the police?
No. Oh, no, this is an old friend of mine. Would you mind walking on a little way? I want to speak to him a moment. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, I did as she asked. And pretty soon she came down the street with her eyes blazing and trembling all over. She begged me not to tell what had happened. She said he was just an old friend who had come down in the world.
That explains a great deal. A great deal. Come along, Watson. We must find this crooked man who lives in Hudson Street.
My goodness, Dr. Watson, a mysterious death, a mysterious meeting, and a mysterious creature companion. Why, you're pouring it on thick tonight.
Miss Bell, the only thing I'm pouring is 2 fresh cups of Washington coffee. Isn't it splendid that you can make 2 cups just as convenient as an entire pot?
Like the can says, it's the easier kind of coffee. No coffee pot needed. You can make it in the cup at the table. Much more straightforward than your crooked man tale.
With more twists and turns to come, Miss Bell, you may find that the crooked man is not what, or even who, you might think he is.
Well then, let's get back to the story.
Oh, Holmes, I say these snails are dark. I fail to see how you managed to locate this fellow so quickly.
A crippled fellow who has a pet animal which he carries in a box and who lives in Hudson Street? That's not very difficult. His name is Henry Wood. I discovered he is a conjurer by trade.
Well, this must be his room. The landlady did say 3rd floor rear.
Dear me. He has a fire going. I can hear and smell it on a warm day like this.
Come in.
Henry Wood, late in India, I believe.
Yes.
My name is Holmes. Sherlock Holmes. I've come over the little matter of Colonel Barclay's death.
What have I to do with that?
That is precisely what we've come to find out. You know, I suppose, that unless this matter is cleared up, Mrs. Barclay, who is a friend of yours, I believe, may be hanged for the murder of her husband.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. She's innocent, I swear.
Then you are guilty.
No, Mr. Holmes, I'm not.
Then who killed Colonel James Barclay?
His conscience, his own guilty conscience, struck him down like the judgment of the Almighty. But mind you, if it hadn't, I might well have had his blood on my sword.
Come, tell us the whole story. We are not members of the official police. We shall not make use of anything beyond the facts which are necessary to clear Mrs. Barclay.
Very well, then. I've nothing to be ashamed of in any event. It was this way, sir. You'll see me like this with my back like a camel, my ribs all awry. But there was a time Corporal Henry Wood was the smartest man in the Royal Munsters.
But I say, Holmes, that was Barclay's regiment.
Shh, Watson, don't interrupt.
We were in India at a place called Bertree. Barclay was sergeant in the same regiment as myself, and in the belle of the regiment, the finest girl that ever had the breath of life between her lips was Nancy Devoy, the daughter of the colour sergeant.
You mean the lady who is now Mrs. Barclay?
Yes, we both of us loved her, but she loved but one. And you'll smile looking at me like this when I tell you it was for my good looks that she loved me. Well, the rebellion broke out and all hell was loose in the country. We were shut up in Bertree, the regiment, half a battery of artillery, a few civilians and the women folk. There were 10,000 rebels around us, as keen as terriers around a rat cage.
A bad business, that. I've been through a bit of it.
After a bit, our watcher gave out. Our only chance was to communicate with General Neil's column, which was moving up country. Well, I volunteered to go out to try to reach General Neil. My offer was accepted. I talked it over with Sergeant Barclay, who was supposed to know the ground better than any other man. He drew up a route sheet by which I could get through the rebel lines.
You go this way, Wood, down this dried up water course. It'll be screening you from the enemy's sentries. When you come to this corner, you'll find a couple of natives waiting for you.
Yes, but...
It's all right, Wood. They're spies of ours. They'll see you through the enemy's lines.
Thanks, Barclay. And if I don't come back, why, take care of Nancy, will you?
Don't you be worrying about that. But aren't you going to say goodbye to her?
No, I've not told her what I'm after doing. I'll not have her fretting.
Shh. Here she comes. Looks like she's found out.
Henry? Henry, Nidas told me you're going to go through the lines. Henry, couldn't they send someone else? Someone who's got no sweetheart? Why should you be the one to go risking your life for the regiment?
Oh, Nancy, there's 1,000 lives to save. But it'll be only one I'm thinking of when I drop over the wall tonight. And that's why I'm going. Don't you see what it means, Nancy? If I'm successful, they'll give me my commission and we can get married. How'd you like to be an officer's lady, eh?
Oh, Henry, I don't care if you got a sword to your belt or a pack to your back. I'd marry you anyways.
Darling. Oh, there goes the shooting farther down the line. That's to draw their attention to there and away from this spot. It's the signal for me to go.
Henry? Henry?
Goodbye, darling. Don't you be worrying. I'll be coming back.
God protect you, Henry.
Good luck.
Whoa, God blimey, but it's dark in here. Not a star in the sky. Squirming along this watercourse like a blooming snake. Ugh, mud's all slimy. Here's the corner. Where are the spies? Oh, here, let me go. I'm the fella Barclay betrayed me through one of his local contacts. Ellery was relieved by Neil next day, but the rebels took me away with them to their retreat, and it was many a long year before I saw a face I knew again.
Oh, how terrible!
They tortured me. They crippled me. They took me to Nepal and afterwards to Darjeeling. The hill folk up there captured me and they kept me prisoner until I managed to escape. I went north until I found myself among the Afghans. I lived with them and I picked up a few conjuring tricks.
Why didn't you go back to your own people and be revenged on this brute Barclay?
Well, what was the use? I'd rather Nancy should think of me as having died a straight man rather than seeing me living and crawling about with a stick like a chimpanzee. Besides, I'd heard Nancy had married and Barclay was rising in the regiment and treating her well. Why should I spoil her life? But, well, as one gets older, one gets a longing for home. I had an aching in my heart to see the green fields and hedges of England once more before I died.
So you came back?
Yes, but never dreaming Nancy was here. I went where there were soldiers, for I knows their ways and how to amuse them.
And in that way you made a living. Now, Mr. Wood, we've heard of your meeting with Mrs. Barclay and your mutual recognition. I take it you followed her home and saw her through the window, the quarrel she had with her husband. Your feelings overcame you. You rushed across the lawn and broke in on them.
Yes, sir, and the sight of me was like a bullet to his guilty heart. Over he went with his head on the fender, but he was dead before he fell.
And then?
And then Nancy fainted. I caught up the key from her hand, meaning to get help, but then I heard the servants rattling at the lock. Suddenly it struck me. Things are pretty black for me, and besides, I didn't want my secret to leak out, so I stuck the key into my pocket. I dropped the stick while I was chasing Teddy to get him back into the box, and then off I went as fast as I could.
And who is Teddy?
Oh, he's here in this box. Here, Teddy, come on out. It's all right. They won't harm you.
Why, it's a mongoose.
Some calls him that. I calls him snake catchers. Smart fellow he is too, eh, Teddy?
Come in. Ah, it's Major Murphy.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, they said I should find you here.
Well, here I am.
I suppose you've heard that all this fuss has come to nothing.
Really?
Yes, the inquest is just over. Medical evidence shows conclusively that death was due to apoplexy. You see, it was quite a simple case after all.
Oh, yes. Remarkably superficial. By the way, Major Murphy, do you know Henry Wood?
Yes, sir. I believe I've seen him. One of the camp followers.
Mr. Wood is perhaps the most courageous gentleman you will ever have the honor to know.
Really? What did he do?
He held his tongue.
There's just one point I don't understand, Dr. Watson.
And what's that, Miss Bell?
Who was the man David that Mrs. Barclay referred to in her quarrel with her husband? The colonel's name was James, I believe, and the other man's name was Henry.
The name David is the key to the whole story. That's the clue that set Holmes on the right track. It was a term of reproach.
I'm afraid I'm pretty dense, Dr. Watson.
Well, it refers to the David in the Bible. He strayed occasionally, I believe, and on one occasion in the same direction as Sergeant James Barclay. Remember that small affair of Uriah and Bathsheba? My biblical history is a trifle rusty. You'll find the story in 1st or 2nd Samuel, I believe, but well, now, may I offer you another cup of coffee?
Indeed you may, Dr. Watson, if you'll let me make it.
Oh, please do, my dear. I believe you join me in approving of these modern labor-saving conveniences.
I do when the results are as good as they are with G. Washington's. And when one saves as much labor. Why, G. Washington's takes all the work out of coffee making.
No messing with pots. percolators, eh what?
Nope, just take the lid off the can. Put a spoonful of the tiny brown crystals in a cup. Add hot water. Stir. And your coffee is done. It certainly smells good, too. Dr. Watson, is that the same can I used last week?
The very same one, my dear. A tiny can of G. Washington's goes a long way. In fact, I find it makes as many cups as one of those big cans of ordinary coffee.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Washington wants you to test this new method of coffee making for yourself. You will find a grocery store carrying G. Washingtons in your neighborhood, or send your name and address to G. Washington, Morristown, New Jersey, and he will give you enough of the new G. Washingtons to make 3 perfect cups of coffee. Better write that down. Morristown, New Jersey. Canadians can write for samples to the Grocery Specialty Company, Montreal, Canada. And now, Dr. Watson, what about next week's story?
Next week, we hear about a noble bachelor whose wife has disappeared between the wedding and the bridal breakfast.
So this bachelor had a wife, eh? Even Holmes will have trouble explaining that one.
Oh, not at all, my dear. You'll hear all about it next week.
Listening to a Sherlock Holmes adventure adapted by Edith Meiser from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's short story, The Adventure of the Crooked Man. This is Josephine Bell saying good afternoon from our KRTL studios at the Pavek Museum of Electronic Communications. The Norwegian Explorers, the Sherlock Holmes Special Collections of the University of Minnesota Libraries, and the Pavek Museum of Electronic Communications invite you to tune in next year for another exciting installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. This has been the National Broadcast Company.
Good, thank you. I don't understand.
You could do the accents perfectly, my friend. Nowadays, yeah, you buy a microphone and then post it on YouTube and then it's covered